Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by the Looking Glass Duck Club podcast. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Excuse me. It's almost time for our Q2 interview with those guys. Q2 meeting. We'll have to do that next couple of weeks. Next couple of weeks. So, great guys.
With us today, the first person we've ever had on the road in the Bronx, Mr. Tim Grady. Tim, how are you doing, sir?
How's it going?
Doing good. So you are right smack dab in the middle of the Bronx right now.
Yep, I'm on the corner of Bailey and Lenox.
Yep. Oh, Lenox, the famous hospital there.
Yeah, yep. I don't live out here. I just work out here a lot. So I don't know like all the areas, but it's interesting.
I'm betting you that you're going to have a better lunch than me and Andy have today.
If I get to take lunch.
Oh, really?
They got a lot of good delis. Got a lot of good delis over here.
Oh, the street food in New York is absolutely amazing. I'm so jealous. But is it cold up there right now?
Nah, it's nice. It's like 50 degrees.
So what exactly do you do?
I'm an electrician.
So you do a lot of work in the big in the big buildings all the time?
Not big buildings. I work in residential houses.
Well,
I work for a solar company. So when the house is getting solar, say they send you in and say, oh, your electrical box is outdated or needs to be upgraded. I do all the big work for them. So like I'm actually doing like an upgrade today. So before they put the solar panels on, we do the big electrical work.
How hard is it to be at work in some of those buildings? Because those buildings are old.
It's a nightmare.
So
it's because the electrical service is so old. You got to bring everything up to code, and there's sheetrock walls, concrete walls. You got to run ground wires all the way to the water main that's in a pit. Yeah, it gets interesting sometimes.
Yeah, code is the biggest pain in the ass. Like out here, there's no code or anything. So I mean.
That's awesome. I wish I didn't have to deal with that. Yeah, we
halfway where you need it to, and then that's good enough, right?
Yeah, we come in, we do the work, we do it to the specs of the code, but sometimes it's how the inspector interprets it. So one inspector can say, yeah, I'm fine with that, but then another inspector comes and says, well, I interpret the code differently. So you can contest it sometimes, but we come back and forth to jobs to appease inspectors a lot.
Yeah, and I'm all for code. I'm all for keeping people safe, and I realize electrical fires and everything else. But I think that we have overcoded ourselves here in America. I think there's too much red tape and too many regulations.
Definitely. Too many people with their hands in the basket.
Yeah,
we had an insurance inspector come out 2 years ago, and he was a raging liberal. And he was not very enjoyable to be around, and it was the stupidest crap. But his biggest issue was our parking lot had water in it, and we needed to worry about flood stuff. And we had rained 3 or 4 inches the day before we got here, and I thought you can come back in 3 days.
Come back next week.
There won't be any water here at all. But we've never had anybody drowned in our parking lot. No, it's not an issue.
Not once. I don't even think we've had anybody get stuck in our parking lot.
No, it was just, but it was just he was in control. And he wanted to tell us he was in control, and that was what it was all about.
Fix your drainage.
I was talking to my supervisor, and I feel like these inspectors, they just find something every time. They have to find something, so it looks like they're doing their job.
Yeah. Ron, Jeff's dad, he used to work on FHA repossessed houses, and he would get them, he would do the drywall work, taping and bedding, and he would also do the paint. But there would be an inspector before he could get paid. So what he would do is he would leave something right when the guy walked in, something he knew that was going to get flagged, something that wasn't done. Because you're right.
That's smart.
They
That's
gotta
real
they
smart.
gotta write you up for something. So he would leave just something blatantly obvious, hit you right in the face when you walk in, and then the guy would write him up for that, something easy, and then he'd go through and he'd be like, "Well, you've got to fix so and so right here at the entry." No problem, sir. And then he'd knock it out in 5 minutes, and then collect his check and move on about the day because they got to find something or they're not doing their job.
Yeah, yeah. And it seems like even though the code changes every couple of years, it seems like, like I said, some inspectors want it one way, and the other inspector, so like we're in like limbo. It's like, what do you want? Do you want it this way? Or you want it that way?
Right.
But I get it. Everyone has a job to do.
What's
But that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart. The whole,
make it obvious?
having something right in their face. Yeah.
And something easy to fix too was his big thing. Something that he can knock out in 5 minutes and be done with it all.
What's
Get out of there.
what's the wildest crap you've seen at a house you've went to?
Oh my God. The house I'm working next to right now has pit bulls with the heads are this big.
Oh, wow.
They got like 20 or 30 of them. And we were up on the roof disconnecting the service. And I mean, there was a fence, but there was a gap that they can get through. And we're up on the roof and we're yelling for the lady to come. Can you come outside? We don't, these dogs did not look friendly. I've been bitten by dogs. I've gone into basements where from floor to ceiling stacked with bags of just garbage. You can't even roaches and all types of. When I go home from work, I got to go around my yard, take all my stuff off outside, and just leave it out there because it's disgusting sometimes.
People are nasty.
I can't believe you can have that many pit bulldogs in New York City.
Oh yeah, they got a bunch of them over there right now.
That
Yep.
shocks me because I figured he'd be on a one or two. Every time I'm in New York and I see these people walking their dogs on leashes, I thought, I like my dogs. I don't like a pet enough to have to get up and take them on a freaking walk. If my dog has to go to the bathroom at 3 a.m, I open my back door. It's fenced in yard. He takes a shit, comes back in the house, and we'll go back to bed.
And I ain't picking up his shit in the backyard.
I can't imagine.
Leave it.
I can't imagine having to go carry a little dookie bag around and pick up shit. And I see, and some of these people got some big.
They don't even do it. They don't even do it most of the time. They just leave it, let you walk in it.
Yeah. See, it's fertilizer in my backyard. That's what I just mow over it, and grass is green back there.
But and you see people with Great Danes and stuff. I thought, how do you live in a 1,000 square foot apartment and have a dog that weighs 130 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. These guys, I don't know. They do let them in the house because when we were yelling for them to let the dogs in, they went in the front door. But they had these big kennels in the backyard, and I don't know what they have going on. Maybe they breed them or something. I don't know.
So where do you live at?
I live on Long Island.
On Long Island? I'm about to start the Netflix series about the serial killer on Long Island.
Oh man,
which one is it?
My brother has him in Riverhead right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my brother's a corrections officer in my brother Ricky, and yeah, he loves fan mail. The guy, from what I hear,
he's got a whole Netflix documentary devoted to him, so I'm sure he's going to get more panties.
I haven't heard about this. What is it?
You probably know the story better than I do.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. The guy lived in Massapequa, and so there's a barrier island between the Atlantic Ocean and Long Island called Fire Island, and there's a parkway that runs along, so you can get over to there at some points, and a call girl was at this it's a little community, Oak Beach. She came from Manhattan, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on with it. Turns out they don't think that girl that disappeared that night. So I'm getting off. There's so much stuff. I know so much about this. It's I can get into it good. She called the cops and said that they were trying to kill me, and the guy saying he just wants her out of the house. So the cops come out. The driver, she had a driver from Manhattan. She just took off into the reeds, like said that people were trying to kill her, and just ran off into the bay. And the guy was looking for her. He couldn't find her, and he just left. And once Suffolk County started looking for that girl, they started finding bodies along the parkway.
Oh shit!
And they found 11 bodies altogether. And what they think now, I don't know if this is true or not, but what they think is that that girl was just on drugs and ran off got stuck in the muck, in the bay, and she died. But if it wasn't for her freaking out and running into the bay, she unfortunately died too. They wouldn't have found all these bodies.
So was he just burying them on the beach?
The thing is, because there's not many houses over on that parkway, they were thinking that he was just pulling up in his car. He was wrapping them with that camo burlap that you can get at like Cabela's.
Yeah.
You can use it for like blind material.
Yeah.
He was wrapping the girls in that and just stuffing them in the bushes, in the reeds.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And he killed 11 girls.
That they
Yeah.
found.
From what they did, probably more than that now. There's a lot.
And it was all prostitutes.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
See, they didn't show that in the preview.
those
No,
are prostitutes.
The prostitutes.
So they don't deserve.
No. They're like interviewing people that he killed, and they're like, oh, she was just going to meet a client.
Yeah, well, they're
client.
They're clients.
It's true, but
And potential.
It does not seem like these women are working girls.
So they could be an insurance salesman. Kind of how this.
It's kind of how like
A real estate agent.
Her last phone pinged. One town I can't pronounce.
Massapequa.
Yeah, and she was going to go meet a client and never return back to the Holiday Inn.
What?
Yeah.
What-
She was,
what's-
she
I mean,
was,
they're not wrong.
What is the name of this?
Serial killer.
Gone
on Long
Girl?
Island.
Gone Girl. Is this,
Yeah.
Is this a brand new documentary?
Yeah, Gone
Just
Girls
can't-
is what
just-
it is. Yeah, I think just yesterday or
I
something.
saw that.
Yep.
We just watched it. We just finished up a great series called Magic City on Amazon Prime. You can't watch it with your kids. They've got some
Yeah.
prostitutes in it. But I'm telling you right now, whoever screened for this movie did not pick an ugly woman.
I gotta check it out.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, there is more high-end, hot, naked chicks in this show than any show I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
And it's set in Miami in 1959 at the Miramar Playa Hotel. It's the high-end hotel, and it's when the Cuban crisis is coming, and they think Miami's going to get legalized gambling. They're going to turn this into the next Vegas, and it's the mobs involved. Beautiful naked women everywhere. It's a really good. It's only 2 seasons long, but I think it's 24 episodes. But it is highly recommended. It's a good show, but do not watch it with your kids. But it is better.
I'll
than
make sure I watch it at night.
Oh, there's a bunch of smoke shows on there, and there's a lot of them, and they're good looking, every one of them. They didn't have ugly prostitutes in Miami in 1959. I can tell you that. Anyways, I'm gonna have
Definitely-
to. I never heard
Definitely
of that.
check out that Gone Girl though. It's really interesting. They get into the nuts and bolts of it. The guy was a duck hunter too, actually.
Oh, really?
They were thinking that he was at one point, because they were finding the girls wrapped in the burlap, in
Yeah.
the camouflage burlap. They were thinking that he was maybe dropping them off when he was going out into the marsh. Like I've seen that like he was going out hunting in the morning and dropping the girls off. But I think what they figured out was that the bodies were so close to the road, he was just pulling up in his car and disposing them.
One of the girls, I just found the town. Hopog was one of the towns that she was at. That was the Holiday Inn. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, hop hog. Yeah,
Hopog.
you're probably pronouncing it correctly. I got a thick New York accent. So.
No. You said it right. How crazy would that? Like going into your duck spot, and then you find a fucking girl or any dead body wrapped up in the weeds.
Can you imagine why Bill's fucking late every day? God dang it, Bill's fucking late again.
He's off down there dumping a body.
Yeah. Then you find out later, well, shit, he was potential client he dumped off.
That's crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't. My buddy found a dead body fishing, but it was someone that was mentally challenged, and I mean, he must have walked off the pier and was missing, and he was just floating out there. But yeah, no, I wouldn't want to come across anything like that.
He don't look like a killer either.
The guy.
Yeah, yeah, he's huge. He's like 6'5", 6'6".
Looks like Mags, kind of, or Mags' dad.
He looks like a duck hunter.
Yeah, he don't look like the kind of guy that.
He's an avid hunter. Yep, and yeah, I've heard of things like he's a partner in a duck boat with somebody, and yeah.
That is crazy. What gets me is he's convicted of killing 7 people is what this deal said.
Yep.
Shoot him. Put his ass to sleep. I don't understand why we have a death row.
How long did he get? Is he on death row? How long did he get?
He should be. I mean, I don't even know. You're fixing to watch the show. I don't ruin it
he's
for
not.
you.
I don't think that he's, because they keep. So there was so many bodies and there's so much stuff that keeps coming out. He's still in county jail, I believe. I'm not sure. I haven't asked about him in a while, but he keeps having to go back to court because they want to keep charging him with all these other. But I guess they have to keep getting evidence and stuff.
Right.
So he's not in state jail yet. He's still
He's a big
in
man.
Riverhead County.
He's a big boy. He's an architect also.
Really?
Yep. He worked in Manhattan. Yeah, he was. And that was another thing too. How they figured out it was him. They were pinging his. They were pinging his phone, and like, what other guy is making phone calls from Massapequa where he lived, and then in front of his architectic building in Manhattan. So that's how they were able to figure out it was him.
How far of a drive is it from Massapequa to Manhattan? If everything goes right,
it's probably an hour, not even. From my house to get to the city, it takes like an hour and 15 minutes.
And what is it? 20 miles?
Something. No, it's more than that. I don't know exactly how many miles it is, but it takes like an hour. I don't know the exact mileage of it.
Last time I was in New York City, it was about one of my trips to New York City. We went and seen where the what's the house? Amityville Horror House.
Okay. Yep.
We drove to see it, and Michelle's like, "Let's go over to Coney Island." I go, Michelle. I go.
You'd be sitting in your car all day trying to get there.
I told her. I said, we're not in Knox County. Even though it's only 15 or 20 miles away, it takes 2-3 hours to get there.
Where's that at, New Rochelle?
Huh?
Yeah, no, Coney Island's in Brooklyn.
No. Where's the Amityville? How far is Amityville?
Oh, that's Long Island.
It's in
That's
Amityville.
Long Island.
Oh, it is on it? Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my time. That's my time I've spent on Long Island as we went to Amityville. There's a place I want to go to in New Jersey. I want to go back. We'll go that in a minute. I'm going to talk about this. This guy, you know how he got caught is I read up on this just a minute ago, was because of a pizza box. There was a pizza box.
He threw his pizza crust in the garbage, and they were following him around.
And there was a hair that it was on one of the suspects. They got the hair, and they matched it to the pizza box, and that's how that was the major break in the case, was from some DNA from that. But anyways, he had 92 gun permits.
Wow.
Jeez.
He was a hunter.
Yeah, yep.
That's a fucking tough task to do. I gotta imagine in New York to get 90 gun permits.
I'm gonna look him up
I
on Facebook.
I don't have my pistol permit. It's you got to jump through a lot of hoops. I can get it, but it's just you have to, your neighbor needs to vouch for you. You have to find like 3 upstanding citizens, and both my brothers have their pistol permits, but I don't have mine.
Yeah,
I can't buy ammunition. I have to go in when I go to get ammunition. I have to go into the store. They take your license. They ask what you're using the ammunition for. What's your job, and where do you work?
Wow. I'd say it's none of your fucking business. I got a Second Amendment right.
That's what I wanted. What if you someone at the last minute said, hey, you want to come on this pheasant shoot with me tomorrow?
Right.
And then you go to get the ammunition. Like, I never get it the same day. I always get delayed 24 hours. I have to go back the next day to pick up the ammunition.
So everything's got to be planned.
Everything has to be planned. Yep. Yeah, I usually buy a case in the beginning in the off season, so I don't have to worry about it. But
now, so I don't know much about Long Island, but the Hamptons and Montauk are both on Long Island, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Which one's better?
For what?
I love Montauk.
Montauk's better.
There's a lot of weird shit happened in Montauk.
Yep. The Montauk Monster, the Montauk Projects. That show Stranger Things is
based
like
in Montauk
kind of based off of Camp Hero.
I think there's some truth to Stranger Things. I've listened to the telepathy tapes. about nonverbal autistic kids being mind readers and being able to like kind of bend the fabrics of reality. I don't know if Stranger Things is that far out of
you think the show,
wheelhouse.
the guy that wrote the show based it on that, is what you're saying?
I don't know. I don't know that. But
No,
I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy if you listen to telepathy tapes and the things that these nonverbal autistic kids can do just with their mind. Maybe Stranger Things isn't that far off base.
Well, I only watched season 1 of Stranger Things, and I did not think I would like it, and I really did like it because it is not
it's
my
a good
kind.
show.
It's not my kind of shit. I'm not into science fiction at all, but I liked it. I tried to watch the second one. I was science fictioned out. I couldn't watch season 2.
Right.
But season 1, I really enjoyed. I did. But that Montauk area, that's where the Philadelphia experiment took place. Also, I think.
They got the big radar tower. They were saying that they were teleporting monsters from Montauk to Philadelphia or something like that. I don't know.
That's where they made the ship disappear, and all those guys died of radiation, and they actually made it move or something. People that's listening to like, y'all are crazy. Look it up. Philadelphia experiment. It's a major thing during World War II times. But Montauk was a big, there's a lot of things have happened there really interesting. I want to go. That's one place I have not been in the country. I want to go to the Hamptons, and I want to go all the way up to Montauk. But I would like to go stay on Block Island for a couple of days. Have you been there before?
I've been there. I haven't been there a lot. I've gone more to Shelter Island. Shelter Island's, kind of like Block Island. My dad loves Block Island. It's beautiful. Shelter Island is really nice. Montauk's like a cool like surfer town. It's there's a lot of rich people live out there now, but we used to spend summers in Montauk camping all the time. So I like Montauk a lot.
Imagine being a working man in 1955 living in New York City and wanting to buy a place in the Hamptons or Long Island or somewhere along that Montauk area up there. You could have bought a house very reasonable before all the explosion. And imagine what it'd be worth nowadays.
Well, that was the thing that was special about the 50s, 60s, and 70s is you could get rich just being a worker, just playing the game, working 9 to 5 every day, and you could get that summer home at the lake or wherever. That's not feasible for
but could you imagine what that property is worth? That's what I'm saying.
You were at the base of the Ponzi scheme of America.
Yes, boy, beautiful. I'm jealous of everybody who lives in the Northeast. I am. I would love to be able to live in the Northeast. I think I just really, really, really enjoy it. And what's really crazy,
I love Long Island. I have a lot of friends that moved out of state. I don't like a lot of their their laws and everything, but you get the best of, you get the beaches, you get the winters, can't beat it. You can go right into the city if you want to. Not that I spend a lot of time out here besides working, but you get the best of both worlds. And even you go upstate, it's beautiful up there.
Oh, I love upstate New York. And when you get outside of New York City, everybody's pretty like-minded, thinks just like I do. I mean, they're mostly all conservatives and don't want guys and girls sports and all the other crap going on. Everybody's the same. You live in Long Island, and you can't buy on Long Island. You can't buy. Can you keep guns in your house without a permit at all, or is that absolutely forbidden?
Yeah, no, I can keep shotguns and rifles and stuff. You need a pistol permit to carry a pistol, and
in the cities or everywhere in New York.
Everywhere in New York, you need a permit to carry a pistol.
What happens if you get caught without a permit?
Oh man, well I don't know these days. They might give you Jets tickets to come back to court or something like that.
But because if I travel and I'm driving, I always have a gun with me everywhere we go. That's one thing I don't like about getting on an airplane is I don't ever jack with carrying a gun. But if I'm driving somewhere, I always have a gun with me at all times.
I don't blame you.
And never had to use it, but I have it.
It's better to have it than not.
Yeah. My biggest fear, or one of my big fears, is being in some freaking hotel somewhere and something happening and not having a gun.
Yep.
You gotta come to jiu-jitsu with me, Jeff.
Jiu-jitsu ain't gonna stop a bullet.
Well, it'll disarm somebody.
Yeah. Bruce Lee died from getting shot, didn't he?
I'll put that motherfucker right up somebody's ass.
Yeah, well, I'll shoot him and then you can stuff him, okay?
You got a deal.
That's it.
You got a deal.
So what did
jiu-jitsu is very gay, so I'm all about the stuffing.
How far is Parkwood, New Jersey from you?
Parkwood, New Jersey.
There's a deli there that I want to go to. I follow it called the Parkwood Deli. The deli guy. I'm
It
gonna.
all
I'm coming.
New Jersey, New Jersey. Like when I go to Giants games, if it's near MetLife, it takes like 2.5 hours.
Oof.
Next time I come to New York City, I'm going to Parkwood Deli. I almost booked a trip but we just so busy and hadn't had time to fly up there. And that was one of my main things, was just to go to this deli and eat and mess around for a couple of days.
You got to check out GNC Deli in the Bronx. I wouldn't go all the way to New Jersey to go to a deli. I would go to.
I want to go to this place though.
Yeah.
I mean, we drove to the Amityville Horror House. That was a big. I told Michelle, I go, it's just a neighborhood, and you could tell the neighbors, they were pissed off with people driving down the street.
Does anybody live in that house now?
Yeah, it's
people live in it. My parents actually grew up in Massapequa, and it's like a couple of towns away from Massapequa. So I'm familiar with the house.
I think the guy was just a fucking druggie. I don't think anything spectacular happened.
That's what I've heard from people that were like the same age as them, is that he was just a drug addict and had a bad trip and shot up his family.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I don't doubt that he saw everything that he says he saw. I just think that it was like you said.
Self-induced.
I think it was just a bad trip, and he fucking went crazy and shot everybody.
What's the other show that was out 2 years ago about New Jersey, about the house that was haunted? They had all this shit happen to
The Watcher.
The Watcher.
Right?
That house is a huge tourist attraction now. That's a beautiful home too.
I never seen that. And I'm usually up on stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
Let me see.
I never seen The Watcher.
It's a damn good series. It's a very, very good show.
Oh, with the neighbor that used to write the letters.
Yes.
Yeah,
Rye,
yeah.
Westchester County, New York.
What did you say?
Rye?
Yep.
Hold on.
Westchester?
Yeah, Rye, New York.
Yep, that's on your way upstate, so like right outside the city.
Like going towards Sleepy Hollow and what's that other town up there? Not
Sleepy Hollow is the last exit before the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Yeah, what's that other town up there? It's not just Sleepy Hollow. Terrytown.
Yep. Terrytown is near Sleepy Hollow.
Terrytown's a pretty cool town too. That's where the Rockefellers buried at. That's where
Sleepy Hollow is really nice too. We have a house up in Cooperstown. That's a really cool town.
I've not been there.
Hall of Fame is.
Yes, that's a place I'd like to go.
Yeah. Let me know. I'll let you. You can stay at my dad's house.
I love it up there. I like Terrytown. We stayed at Terrytown and Sleepy Hollow a couple of times. You know, Michelle's big into the fall stuff, so we went and did all that stuff, and that's
that's a cool town. Sleepy Hollow is definitely a cool town with all the the Edgar Allan Poe stuff, and it's definitely cool. Definitely around Halloween is a good time to go there.
So how hard is it? You're a fantasy football guy. We're going to get into hunting in a minute, but let's talk fantasy football, or let's talk football. The Jets said that Justin Fields is their quarterback from now on. I think Justin Fields is a lot better quarterback than Russell Wilson, but I don't think Justin Fields has a future of being a quarterback if you actually have aspirations to go to Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I think that he likes to run the ball a lot. And I just don't think that he's there. If they're going to stick with him, I don't think that he's the one. I honestly don't think that Aaron Rodgers was the issue either there. What I think the issue is that they have a horrible offensive line and the coaching staff weren't on the same page.
Yeah. I just think that anytime you get that defensive-minded head coach, I think is going to struggle in the NFL the way it is right now. You got to have a brilliant offensive mind. And the Jets offense, and maybe it was a little bit of Aaron Rodgers, but like if you look at the NFL right now, there's a lot of motion and a lot of trickery. Aaron Rodgers is kind of that last quarterback that is your typical.
He's a dinosaur.
Yeah, he's the guy that.
I'll be honest. I am so happy that the Giants did not end up with Aaron Rodgers. I'm a Giants fan, so Aaron Rodgers is great and all, but. I don't know. This is how I want it to go, and it never happens this way. Is that I don't want to take a quarterback in this draft. I want to get either that edge rusher from Penn State or Travis Hunter, and then wait to take a quarterback in the next draft.
I wouldn't take Travis Hunter with the top 5 pick. He's a defensive back. He's not.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell's going to draft a slot receiver? I mean, he's very good. I'm not. If you get him in the 20th spot to 30th spot, I think you got to steal. But I think you're screwing up. If the Giants are lucky enough to have Abdul Carter from Penn State fall to them at 3, they are fools because with Brian Burns, him, and Kayvon Thibodeau, that gives you a hell of a front. That's a hell of a front.
And you got Dexter clogging up the middle.
They've got that's as good a front four as you're going to find anywhere in football. They got a great wide receiver in the kid from LSU, and I can't think of his name right now.
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors is a stud, but you got to have somebody who can throw the ball. And I don't, Aaron Rodgers can at least throw the ball downfield. It ain't cost nothing.
Numbers were better than Patrick Mahomes last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Aaron Rodgers is not, he's old. I think right now, Cleveland is smart. I think they're going to have Kirk Cousins. I think Pittsburgh is going to sign Aaron Rodgers. And with Pittsburgh's defense and signing DK Metcalf, I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh's in the playoffs next year at all.
Yeah.
They were almost there.
I was actually having this conversation with my brother last week that Aaron Rodgers is a perfect fit for a team like Pittsburgh because that head coach will put the right tools around Aaron Rodgers to get the job done, and put a nice, good offensive line around him. Let him go out there and do his thing. I just think that I don't know what happened with the Jets, but it just didn't go well for either the Jets or Aaron Rodgers.
I think you hit it on the head. I think his offensive line was terrible. You had the old guy from the Cowboys. I can't remember his name right now. Smith. Yeah, Tyrone Smith started the year.
They're old.
He's old. It was an old offensive line. It was a bad offensive line. I think Aaron Rodgers, no matter what he wants to say, I don't think he was healthy for the first month of the season. He was healthy, but I don't think that he really trusted that Achilles as much around. So you're not going to
plant off that foot as much as you say that you're healthy, but you're going to be ginger on it a little bit.
Well, and just like moving around in the pocket, I don't think he really had until later into October. And then if you look at the last 6 games, he was playing really well. And I think the Jets are a poorly run organization.
Did you see what they just did?
Yeah, I agree.
They fired 150 people this week.
Really?
Not just, I'm talking about from concession people, electricians, attorneys. They're rebooting the whole system.
Wow.
They're cleaning house.
Doge has got a hold of the Jets.
The perfect.
Woody should fire himself.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of like Jerry Jones.
The perfect fit for Aaron Rodgers, and you're going to laugh at this.
San Francisco.
The Miami Dolphins.
Yes, I will laugh at that.
Why?
I don't know if that offense is him.
Yeah, they throw the ball, quick outs are running that. They run the West Coast offense.
They're not getting rid of Tua, though.
No. I know that they're not getting rid of Tua, but that would be the perfect fit for him. That weather down there is for Aaron Rodgers. He's a perfect fit for Miami. Like if Tua got hurt today, that's who Miami would go get is Aaron Rodgers. He's a perfect fit for them, and he's better than Tua is.
Tua's partying it up, so he might slip on a yacht.
Yeah. But I really
Tua takes one more hit, he's gonna be Nani Nunu. He's gonna be all messed up.
Whoever's giving him advice to keep playing football has lost their mind. He should be wearing one of those things on his helmet anyways. I just don't get that. But I think Aaron Rodgers has got another year or 2 left in him. I think Kirk Cousins is going to Cleveland. I think that's gonna happen. I think the Giants should have tried to trade for the Cowboys to trade for Dak Prescott. I really do. I think Dak's a good quarterback. I think Dallas doesn't. The people in Dallas, the fans don't appreciate Dak, and it's a big money thing. The Giants can afford him, and that's one of the places that I would have. I would have offered him a 3rd or 4th round pick and take the money because I think Jerry would do that because I think Jerry would like to save that money. But there are no quarterbacks. I can't believe they let Cooper Rush go. But the rumor on that is if Cooper Rush started that last game, he got a $500,000 bonus since they started Trey Lance instead, and so he wouldn't get his bonus. Which is
I don't know what's going on with Dallas. Jerry Jones is like, I don't know, he's not running it the way, they haven't been good in so long. And I would love to have Dak Prescott. I think he's a good quarterback. He doesn't win the big games, but I don't think that's his fault. I think that's more of a team coach fault.
Too many distractions being a Cowboy. Okay, we'll switch to baseball right now, which is not a sport I follow much. Bryce is getting a start for the Braves tonight.
Oh, is he?
Against the Dodgers.
What channel?
I don't know if it's. I'm sure it's on TBS.
So they moved him up that fast?
He got moved up. He's starting tonight.
Wow.
For the Braves.
Go Bryce.
My question to you is: all I've seen is the headlines. Are the Yankees using some kind of bats that nobody else is using?
Yeah.
Everybody's using
Yeah,
that bat
they
right
made
now.
this crazy looking bat where um it's the dimension of the bat is they put the barrel longer, or I don't know exactly what they did, but the first game they jacked like 9 home runs.
Yeah.
So in 150 years of baseball using the same equipment, someone's designed a new bat. That's like someone designing a new duck decoy.
Right.
And it's making a difference, though, I guess. They're hitting
They
a bunch of
hit
home runs.
9
Yeah.
home runs in the first game.
Yep, and other players just are I guess getting bats from them or just having them made that way, and yeah, it's spreading all throughout the league now.
That baseball needs more runs scored. It would be a lot better people watch. I'd rather watch a baseball game that's 15-12 than 1-0.
But then how are you going to judge a guy like Bryce? You know what I mean?
If you go 1-0, you'll do really well.
But like you're making it easier for the hitter because I've seen the bat. It's like a torpedo. The barrel's fatter, it looks like. It looks like a college baseball bat. It's fat. So like
It does look like a torpedo, yeah.
Obviously you're going to make contact more, but it's like I don't understand how you're going to judge your pitchers now. If you're going to make it if you're going to give this tool to the batter, it doesn't seem fair.
ERA. If he's got one of the top ERAs, he'll be fine. ERAs may come up, but they want people to watch the game. You know,
I understand.
Baseball has a problem because it's a slow game. It's a perfect game for the radio. TV is not good for baseball. I think radio is really good for baseball. NBA's got a problem because it quit being a ghetto sport where inner city kids had a chance to play to become a European sport. And the numbers, I think 40% of all the players in the NBA now are European. People don't watch it no more. And football just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Now football's fixing to expand to 18 regular season games. So baseball's got to do something. So if they get these bats and they get the scores up, people might watch it again.
Yeah, I think they're gonna let them keep the bats.
Do what?
I think they're gonna let them keep the bats. Like they're not taking the bats away. If they're gonna start hitting more home runs, then they're gonna let them keep using them.
The best time in my life of watching baseball, and I'm 57 years old, was when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were having the home run chase. I remember at this lodge that year it was during dove season, and I remember everyone would stop from outside. They were playing horseshoes or whatever. Oh, McGuire's batting, and everybody'd run inside and watch McGwire bat. Then they go do their shit. Oh, Sosa's batting. There ain't ever been a time in my life where people stopped to watch someone hit a baseball. Other than
I don't even start watching until playoffs. Really, it's so boring. The games are dragged out. I'll go watch it with my grandfather because he's a huge Yankee fan, but that's about it. I don't watch until the playoffs.
So do the Mets fans hate the Yankees and Yankee fans hate the Mets?
Yeah. Did you see those guys get thrown out of the bleachers? There was a couple of brave Mets fans that were wearing Mets jerseys. I never understand why you would go to a Yankee stadium, sit in the bleachers with another team's jersey on. Like I get that you should be able to wear whatever you want, but you're like asking for trouble. The bleachers is like they call them the bleacher creatures. Sent the security guards to, I guess, save these people's lives because they were throwing stuff at them and. Yeah, they go crazy in the bleachers. So
good. I
guess they put him somewhere else in the stadium.
what were they throwing at him?
I don't know, throwing beer, they throw whatever they can at you. They throw stuff at the players from the bleachers. The bleacher creatures are crazy.
Yeah. Didn't they like throw batteries at somebody?
Yep, they threw batteries at a player.
So what? Back when people used to carry battery radios, I guess.
Right.
What is going to the football games as hard, or is that mostly rich people at the football games?
I go around a year. I like watching from home, but my son's a huge sports fan, so I try to take him, once a year.
Is it? But the football game, like if you go to Yankee Stadium to watch a baseball game, it's still a bunch of regular working people at the games, right?
Yeah, you'll see like down on field level, there's a couple of boxes that don't have anybody sitting in them because there's a bunch of rich people that buy up those tickets. But working class people are up in the not on field level in the stands a lot. Yeah.
Is Giants Stadium, when you go to a Giants or Jets game, is it mostly working people, or is it the yuppity snobbity people from Long Island like Hamptons?
Nah, it's working class people
Okay,
from what I see.
that's what makes
Yeah,
sports really cool. I think that's why Philly gets the bad rap. I think it's just a bunch of working guys that have a damn good time. I could have been a
yeah,
Philadelphia person, I think, because I would have loved to have been a fan like that.
Because you're a
they're
dickhead.
Oh,
crazy.
belligerent
Because you're a
dick.
fucking
Yeah.
ass.
Yes, I would. I would have loved that.
My brother has he started this little like clothing company, and he made up these eagle, like Go Birds shirts, and he went to um Philadelphia during the Super Bowl, and I was like, be careful. I'm like, they're crazy. And he was videotaping them flipping over the garbage trucks and everything. Yeah, they're crazy out there.
Did he sell out his shirts?
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Smart guy, entrepreneur, right there. So,
Yeah. He has a new plan. He wants to go down. He wants to go down the coast, like stopping in little towns. Like he wants to buy like a Sprinter van and have like the stuff in the back of the van and just stop in town by town, and until he gets to Florida.
so
Entrepreneur.
as a waterfowl hunter growing up in this concrete jungle,
Yep.
how hard was it to find everything's public up there to hunt just about, right? Or is it-
Yep.
okay. So when I was I've never been really on Long Island much other than Amityville and stuff, but around Boston, they got the water everywhere.
Yep.
How hard is it to get access to hunt, and do the authorities try to run you off from hunting all the time?
I mean, I guess compared to other states, it's kind of easy, and that's the problem. A lot of people just take it upon themselves to just, if you got a boat or if you want to walk down the beach or something, um, if you're below the high tide point and your back is 150 feet shooting away from a home, you can shoot over the bay. You can duck hunt.
You just can't be facing the houses.
Yep. If you're facing the houses, you got to be 300 feet away.
But everything's public up there.
Yeah, I mean they got farms that are leased up, and like people that have like grow vegetables and stuff, and a lot of geese hunting on those fields. But I do a lot of just on the bay, Great South Bay they call it. It's the piece of water between Long Island and the Atlantic Ocean. So you got Fire Island that runs along Long Island. It's a barrier island, and then on the inside of that barrier island is the Great South Bay.
I'm trying to find it on the map right here. So what
It's
do
on
you?
the south coast of Long Island.
We're at from Long Beach,
Long Beach.
South.
You gotta go further out.
south.
Yep. You got to go further down towards the. You know how Long Island looks like a fish?
Yeah.
You got to go further out from Long Beach. There'll be a barrier island called Fire Island, and we hunt the Great South Bay. You could probably just look up Great South Bay, and that'll come up.
I was really impressed in New Jersey that I've always heard it called the Garden State, and I never realized why until you go to New Jersey. And New Jersey's really a big farm area. They had rodeo arenas. I mean, I was really surprised because I thought it was going to be just like New York City. It's kind of like upstate New York. When you get outside New York City, upstate New York is a lot of hunters, a lot of fishermen.
Yep. I love up on my dad's house. He bought 30 acres. I don't know, like almost 20 years ago now, and he bought one of those module homes, I guess like a trailer. They come in two pieces, and poured a foundation and put a driveway in, and yeah, it's beautiful up there.
So where do you put in at? Just anywhere that you can? Your
A boat ramp, just like a public boat ramp, like the town. They have like these ramps that you can launch your boat in, and that's where we launch our boat.
Is it usually pretty busy in the mornings, or is it not too bad?
It depends on which one you go to. I feel like when people start finding out if you're shooting something somewhere, if there are birds around,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden there's trucks all over the place. But in the beginning of the season, you'll see a couple of guys. But if you're into the birds, more and more people find out.
Now, what are you mainly shooting there?
black ducks, mallards, broadbill, stuff like that, divers. We got so many different species of ducks up here. We don't have like a lot of numbers, we don't have, I don't go out and shoot stacks of birds every day, but you can go out and shoot, black ducks, geese,
You shooting Brants?
mergansers, brant. Yeah. I don't focus a lot on the brant because you can only shoot one. They only let you shoot one now.
Yeah, so you got to go with the ducks. That's where the numbers are.
Yeah, we could shoot 2 black ducks a day. Widgeons, I got a spot. I shoot some widgeons in. Yeah, there's a whole buffleheads. It all depends. You set up for what you're hunting. So when I hunt divers, we'll put out long lines. So it's just a string with a weight on both ends, and we just go down the line, clip in the decoys, clip in the decoys, and you put it out in a V, and those broadbill come right down the middle.
So here's my question. So when you shoot a big bunch of ducks, like you got to clean them, but what do you do with the bodies afterwards? You just throw them in the garbage?
Yeah, yep.
And they trash company picks them up?
When I breast them, I have some cats. My dad taught me a long time ago, like, try not to waste as much as you can. So we used to feed them to our cats. So I have these cats that live in the woods near my house, and I let them eat the carcasses sometimes.
Right, because you're just thinking you're in this concrete jungle, and like now all of a sudden you got to get rid of 6 bodies.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, you're just gonna throw it in there and let the trash guy pick it up coming down the road.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I guess so.
Don't live where I live is not like the concrete jungle. I live out, Long Island. Like once you're getting towards the Hamptons,
Yeah,
it's a lot more like suburbs
spread out.
Yeah. Yep. I actually have woods. I only have one neighbor on my road, actually 2, one across the street and one to the left of me, and then I have woods, an old duck farm, because Long Island is known for their duck farms. So my house is right next to an old duck farm, and it's protected area, so they can't really ever build on it.
What's crazy is like we're seeing through this Duck DNA project with Ducks Unlimited and Dr. Phil Lavretsky is like the amount of influence that these farm ducks have had on specifically like the East Coast duck.
Yeah, you can't even get a full, I've heard on your guys' podcast that up by me, there's no real like wild mallard, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, like I've seen some of the numbers, like some of the percentages of whatever of these ducks, and like it's like 90% farm duck on a lot of them.
Yep. I actually contacted that guy. He said he was going to get back to me. He already had the guys picked out, but I was telling him I live in a unique area, Long Island, and if you want samples of any mallards or black ducks, because that's another argument. People say that the black ducks are all hybrids, really, and there's not. Everyone always argues that like if I post a picture of a black duck, they're like, it's everyone always has something to say what it is.
Yeah.
But they're really, what I know them as is black ducks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy what we're going to find out about this. And now I've seen that they're going to do turkey DNA next. So I don't know what they're trying to get out of that. I probably should message that guy and see if he'll come back on the podcast and see what they're looking for with the turkeys. Because I don't really know about a bunch of turkey farms.
Yeah, I don't know. I
got a ton of turkeys by me. Ton of them.
All Easterns?
Yep, all Easterns.
When does y'all season open?
May 1st to the 31st.
Oh, wow. So y'all got a month to go.
Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, and that's another thing. You can't do shotgun in a lot of areas. You have to put in for a designated spot to go shotgun hunting for turkeys. You can shoot them with a bow, but I think that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Oof, that's tough.
What about like hunting in like by the Statue of Liberty? They shoot diver ducks out there, don't they?
No, so once you get into the five boroughs like Queens, like Bronx, Brooklyn, you can't. There's no hunting in the inner city, but right outside the inner city is great duck hunting. I know. One of my buddies lives right behind JFK, the airport, and he crushes the ducks. He crushes a lot. He shoots a lot of ducks.
I can tell you where there's some ducks at. You can sit on the Friends couch in Central Park and over that pond where they did that video of the Friends. There's always ducks on that damn thing. A lot of them, a lot of mallards.
Yep. I was in Queens, and there was during duck season, and stuff was starting to freeze up, and I was just on break, and I just started videotaping it. There was shovelers, there was pintails, there was blue wing teal, there was all types of stuff in a little tiny pond in the middle of the city. It was the craziest thing.
They're safe there.
Yeah, they are safe, and they know where they're safe, and I talked to my buddy that lives out in Nassau County where he shoots all these ducks, and he shoots a lot of geese too. I'm like I feel like they know where they're safe, so they go around especially once they start getting shot at.
I'm assuming on field hunting up there, it's almost impossible to get on a field to hunt. Am I right?
We used to have a couple fields, but there's certain they're priced way out of our comfort zone.
I would figure there would be some high dollar duck clubs up there with that kind of money.
To be honest, there's one outfitter, and they got a lot of backing from a rich guy, and from what I hear now, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't want to go spreading rumors because I do use them to do pheasant hunting sometimes. But I heard that they lease up all the sod farms and cornfields and stuff, and they are running pretty much a monopoly on Long Island.
Jamie Holstein 30 years ago begged me and him to go up to Long Island and start doing hunts.
Really?
He wanted to run hunt. He said, "Man, we could do it right there, and you could see the world." Back before the World Trade Centers were gone.
Yeah.
He goes, "You could see that in your background." He said, "There's tons of good duck and goose hunting up there." And he goes, "All we got to do is get up there." I thought, how much do you think it's going to cost?
Yeah.
To put a lodge in, or a place.
You could have gave someone a cake, a piece of, that's how my dad and my uncle used to get property. They would just become friends with farmers, and they would say, "Yeah, you can come bring your kids and hunt." But it's not like that anymore, unfortunately.
We would have been on the end of it. But Jamie used to tell me, he said, "Man, you can shoot graders there and Brants," and he had it all told me all about it and stuff. And I think it was a long way to go.
It's too far. It's too far of a drive for you. You would have to fly in and out. That would have been a headache,
If I'd ever started a place up there, my fat ass would still be up there. I would have loved. Yeah. I've said
you would
over
like
and over
it.
Again.
You would like it from listening to you on the podcast. You would love it on Long Island.
Should have done it.
I love it up there.
Could have got us out of this fucking wind turbine that we're living in.
Oh no, y'all just stayed down here, and I'd have went up there.
Jeff, I'd have been fucking 11.
Yeah, you would have went with me.
I'd have had to go with you.
That's it. You gotta have Andy there.
He screwed us.
Yep,
you screwed us.
Same thing. I always
you guys do pretty well for yourself down there.
Well,
from what I see,
he's had a lot of opportunities he's missed on, like Microsoft.
No,
and Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is the big one. I could have bought part of Long Island for that. I would have. But you know what? We had 60-mile-an-hour winds yesterday. Where else can you go and just go home full of dust from a kid's baseball game? It was terrible. We've had 50. I'm gonna say probably blew 50 miles an hour yesterday for a little bit.
I saw Lubbock. I saw Lubbock. 64 was their big win, but I don't know if that got all the way over here.
That's the fifth time in the last 30 days that we've had this.
Yeah.
Lubbock, Texas, has had 0.21, less than a quarter of an inch of rain since November 15th or something. That's it. Mm-hmm. So we're talking 6 months now: November, December, January, February, March, April. Went on 5 months with less than a quarter of an inch of rain. That's dry.
It's awful.
That's crazy.
It's supposed to change tonight, I think.
We got
about 3 days of good chance. I just got a alert on my phone. They're calling for serious flooding and potentially hazardous thunderstorms. So we'll see.
That ain't good.
That is good. We need that.
That's good for you. That's good for you to go chasing thunderstorms.
Multiple high-end hazards, serious flooding, possible thunderstorms could also produce strong tornadoes in your area.
And you know where that's going to be at?
East of here.
It's going to be Saturday when we're going to freaking Disney on Ice.
Yeah, but at least we're going to be. At least it's going to be in Dallas where we're going to be.
What's that? I don't.
You can look at it from your hotel room. You don't have to leave your hotel room.
Have you been to Disney on Ice ever?
Me, yeah.
Is it miserable?
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh,
That's what I wanted to hear.
we're going there on Saturday.
I didn't know I was even going until Sunday night. I mean, absolutely had no
Yeah, you
clue.
did.
No, I didn't.
She told
I
you
was
during
shocked.
hunting season.
Well, she may have told. I didn't know though. I did not know that. So I was shocked by this. And then everybody I know that's went, I have not heard one person say, "Oh, it's a good time." Not one. Like we're going to Disney World next month in Universal. We're going down for 8 days. We're going to walk 4,000 freaking steps an hour for an hotel. We're going to walk halfway to the moon and back. I can find some fun in that because I enjoy the rides and stuff. I can't think of one positive about Disney on Ice. Can you really?
How long is Disney
Drinking,
on Ice?
maybe.
How long of a show is this Disney on Ice? What are we looking at?
It's probably 2 hours. If I have to
That's
guess, 2, maybe a little more.
A little more.
It was long. I'll be honest. I went a couple years ago for when my kids were younger.
That feels like 20 hours at that shit. I can't.
Say, hey, we're going to Disney anyway. Why do we need to go on the ice? Just wait till we go to Disney.
I can't imagine anything exciting to watch anyone do on ice. I don't even want to go to a hockey game. I've never been to one. That would be more enjoyable than Disney on Ice.
Hockey's fun.
But
Hockey's fun.
But there's nothing else on ice that I would want to see. Nothing.
Nah.
Maybe one of them will fall.
Duck hunting over ice is fun.
Logan Pyatt went like a month ago, and I was giving him shit about it. And I called and I said, "You ain't gonna believe what I've got to go do this weekend." And he laughed. And he goes, "Wait till you have to buy a $30 snow cone out of somebody's head."
Yeah, or the spinning lights for $30, $40. It's crazy.
I'm giving each of my grandkids $20 when we walk in and say, "This is for you. Do whatever you want with it. Don't ask me for any more money. Ask your dad."
That's it.
Yeah, I don't really know how this all came about either.
I'm glad to finally see you stand up and say something like a man now.
It's just kind of one of those things. She was like, "Hey, should we do this?" I'm like, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess that's the moment she caught me in. I honestly had no idea. I mean, I don't remember it all. And when I was shocked when Jesse goes, "Well, you're going too." I was like, "No, I'm not."
What?
She's like, "Yeah, you're going." I said, and I looked at Michelle. She goes, "Yes." I go, "Bullshit. I don't think your mom remembered."
She did.
Because she had never said a word about it.
She just assumed that you knew.
I didn't know. I was absolutely shocked.
Hey, going back to sports real quick, did you see Coastal Carolina is giving away their entire concession stand for free all football season next year?
Huh? No, I did not see that.
Yeah. Coastal Carolina. Shout out to whatever the fuck.
That's
they
awesome.
The Chanticleers.
Chanticleers.
Let's give it
I just saw it. Maybe that was April Fool's because that came out yesterday.
Probably was.
Oh, yeah, that definitely, yeah, I seen a bunch of stuff like that's definitely April Fool's.
Like me and you being on Joe Rogan was April Fool's.
Like you can't imagine. Like,
that would have been good.
I mean, I guess if they're going to jack up their ticket prices enough to offset the cost, but like you're going to lose a shitload of money.
The Masters only charges $1 for a sandwich. They got prices from the way back. Let's do a shout out to Coastal Carolina. Our friend Reese Collier.
Yeah.
They're like 28-5 in softball.
Wow.
She hit a walk-off home run the other day.
I'm going to look this up. I bet it is a April Fool's.
Does
What
anybody
do you
go to
guys know about lacrosse?
Do they have
Nothing.
do they have football even at Coastal Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know shit about lacrosse, but I notice every time I drive through the boroughs that I see a lot of kids playing lacrosse at the schools.
Long Island, I think, is #1 in recruitment for colleges for lacrosse. My family is big lacrosse people.
All I know about it is Jim Brown was a great lacrosse player.
They say he was a better lacrosse player than he was a football player. If you could believe that.
Well,
I don't know if I believe that, but that's what they say.
He made the right career choice.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Is there I'm assuming there is professional lacrosse?
Yeah, there is. There's little club leagues, but nothing crazy. But both my brothers, my brother Ricky and my brother Kevin, got scholarships to go play. Paid for school, so that's that's a good thing.
That's a great thing. What is the lacrosse powerhouse? Is Syracuse a powerhouse? Duke?
Yep. John Hopkins, Cornell.
So it's an Ivy League type sport then.
Harvard is really good. Boston College has a good team. Notre Dame is my favorite. They were really good.
Okay, I'm reading this article from ESPN. Our fans
Yep.
are the heartbeat of Teal Nation, and we're always looking for a way to elevate their game day experience, athletic director Chance Miller said in a statement on Monday. So that was before April. That was March 31st. We're excited to offer free concessions this fall as a way to say thank you for the energy, passion, and support they bring to Brooks Stadium every game. CCU fans who buy tickets to the game will be able to select up to 4 items per concession stand visit from the menu selection: hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, fountain drinks. There is no limit on how many visits fans can make during the concession stands, but they must scan an app each time. Average attendance at Coastal Carolina football games was 21,415 people during the 2024 season. About average for the Sun Belt Conference. Coastal Carolina didn't tell what their concessions revenues were, but other schools with similar attendance figures report football concessions generating around $250,000 per game.
So they're only going to lose $250,000 a game. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
No, not if you're going to get in, not if you're bringing in 25. They can afford that. They got 6 games. They're going to lose $1.5 million getting free, but they'll probably have 35,000 people at their stands.
But you're going to give away more shit now to people. Like that's $25,000 at $7 bottle of water. Like now you're just giving that shit away for free.
Yeah, but they're probably banking on
fountain.
more people coming to the
they're
games.
They'll get 35,000 people in there instead of 21,000. People are going to go, now, no, Large Marge and her fat ass eating 12 hot dogs might cost a little bit.
She's going to go every possession change.
Hot dogs don't cost much money. Fountain sodas don't cost much money. That $250,000, they're probably only losing $50,000 a game. That's a lot of free advertisement at $50,000. If you look at the bottom line, that $7 bottle of Dasani cost them 50 cents.
Yeah.
So they're not going to lose as much money as you think. But if you can get an extra 10,000, it's just a ploy to get people in. I mean, I can't believe they only made 2. That's crazy to think that you'd have $250,000 in sales with 20,000 people. That's an average of $10 a person. Some tight asses are going to them Sunbelt games.
ESPN.com. You got a problem with that? Take it up with them.
I believe them on their numbers. I'm just saying that's not a lot of money. Like I bet Texas A&M's $1.5 million a game.
Alcoholic beverages and specialty items and items from third-party vendors are not included in the promotion.
Those beers. So a beer instead of being $5 is $7.
That's what they're going to sell the most of.
Right.
I bet you
get a free hot dog for a $7 beer.
If this works out good, you'll see a lot of other colleges do that.
Right.
Because they're not losing what you think.
No.
I mean, their $250,000 probably only cost them $50,000.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're the AD or the president of the university and guy says, listen, we're going to lose $50,000 a game, but we're going to make that up in beer sales, and we're going to make it up because we're going to have 2 times as many people buying tickets.
Right.
He's going to be like, well, so what are we going to lose? He goes, we're going to lose $5,000 a game, and we might make $15,000 extra. He goes, do it. It's well worth the advertisement.
And I don't know about Coastal Carolina's fund balance or anything, but I doubt that they're in the red.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm sure that they can take a $50,000 hickey.
Yep. And look, you got people talking about them.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
exactly.
And there ain't a college out there going broke.
No.
They'll just charge you extra $10 for every poor kid parking there. And that'll pay for it.
They'll make it up somewhere.
Is there a college in the country that's got more parking than students? Because everyone I know has got less parking than students.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. They got 25,000 kids going to school there, and they sell 25,000, well, let's say 20,000 parking permits, especially schools in the South where kids drive. Up north, there's a lot of kids that don't drive. But, you go to University of Texas has got 50,000 students, and I bet 35,000 of them drive a car. And they don't have parking for 35,000 kids, I bet.
The school's endowment in 2020 was $54 million. Be all right. They'll be fine. Like you're right. Like you said, they'll just charge extra parking.
Yeah, they're not going to lose money on the deal, but it's really good advertising. And if you get 10,000 or 15,000 extra people at every game, because there's somebody right now said, hell yeah, every Saturday we're taking the kids to the game to feed them. Football
we're going to stack up on some hot dogs.
$20 for tickets. Take your kid and they can eat free all day.
Instead of going to one game, they're going to go to 3 or 4.
Yes. Yep. But what you said, hot dogs are cheap. Nachos is cheap.
Yeah.
What else? Fountain sodas were cheap.
Just syrup.
And whatever else it was. You said something else. There was 4 things, I thought.
It was just anything at the concession stand, not including alcohol.
Oh, popcorn. Popcorn, it's nothing expensive there.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, they're charging $5 for a bag of popcorn that cost them 10 cents to make.
Yeah.
Man, you can drop an easy $100 going to a Giants game.
Oh, I guarantee you.
Just for food.
Or going to a Disney on Ice, probably.
Oh, you're definitely gonna spend some money there.
So I saw some mock drafts. They say it's between that Carter kid and Travis Hunter, just to kind of depending on who goes at 2.
Yep.
I've seen. I looked at ESPN's mock draft. I looked at CBS, and they were interchanged there. Both of them had Cam Ward going to the Titans.
Do you think Cleveland's really going to take Shedeur Sanders? Who's got the second pick? Is it Cleveland?
Man,
Cleveland.
I lose sleep at night thinking that I'm going to end up with Shedeur Sanders. I think that'd be a huge mistake if the Giants were to draft him.
A waste of a first-round pick, I think. You know, it's funny.
Because his father will be the coach in a couple of years.
I don't know. They just signed a 5-year deal with. I don't think he will be a coach in the NFL. I think he just signed a 5-year deal at Colorado, and I think he stays there. I do think. Well, I got called a racist the other day because I said I wouldn't take Shedeur Sanders because I think he's a flop, but I said I think you'd take Cam Ward 1. Well, they're both black, so how are you racist for saying I take the black kid first, but I wouldn't take the black kid second? I don't think Shedeur is an NFL quarterback. I really don't. I think he's a journeyman guy. I don't know that there's anybody in this draft. That kid from Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, might be the best actual pro prospect.
If you can steal him in the second round, like if the Giants can, because I know they got a high pick. If we took that Abdul Carter and then came back and grabbed him, I mean, I'd be fine with that. I think he has the most. I think he has the most potential.
I'll bet you. I'll bet you $100 bill right now that Jackson Dart is gone before pick 10. Just because of, and I'll tell you what, I not only would take it, I would bet you that. I would also bet you that the fourth quarterback, and I can't remember the kid's name, is taken. Is it the kid from Alabama? The kid ran a 4.35 40 or some shit. That's a big old kid. I'll bet you there's 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round, and there's probably only one of them's a first round grade. I can't believe who's the number.
I'm looking, trying to get there.
Jackson Dart's 3. The kid from Texas, Quinn Ewers, is I think the 5th one, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets drafted in the first round also. And he's another one that's going to be a bust.
I'm telling you, it's Shedeur Sanders. All he has is a name. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but when he gets to the NFL, I think he's just going to crumble. The other guy, Cam Ward, I could have seen taking him, but I don't know. I don't have a good feeling like, I definitely want this guy, or definitely.
That kid's a player. He's really, really good. I think he's by far the best. I don't think he's number one quarterback worthy. I don't think but look at Trevor Lawrence. There's a kid that hadn't done nothing really. And he's got and I still think if he got a fresh set of paint, went somewhere else, he'd be better off. But I'm not a Shedeur fan at all. And I think I think you're wasting a first round pick.
Yep. I agree.
And I think it's what so many of these teams do that stay on the bottom. They just do. And I read John Elway one time talked about taking quarterbacks. And he said, I'll take a quarterback every year with my first pick until I hit the one that makes it. Because he said, once you hit one, you're set. But it's so hard to get that guy.
Jalen Milroe from Alabama.
Yeah, the kid from Alabama. I think he ran a sub 4.40. And he's a big kid. Isn't he like 6'3", 230 pounds or something?
6'2", 217. Jackson Dart, 6'2", 225.
Jackson Dart's bigger than he is.
Will Howard from Ohio State, 6'4", 236. And
is he the 4th prospect or 5th?
He's 6th, 7th.
Who's ahead? It's Milroe is 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Someone probably. I will not be surprised if one of those teams trades up that's quarterback desperate towards the end of the first round and tries to take. And I bet we have 4 or 5 quarterbacks go every year. It's the same way. And I wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't take the running back from Boise State in the top 10 either. I think that's a wasted pick. And he might be the next Saquon Barkley, but he also might turn out to be the next Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor's a good running back, but he's not been worthy of a first round pick.
Yeah. I just think that Abdul Carter, that's the safest bet for the Giants at number 3. And, Travis Hunter, I think that he'll be an okay wide receiver. Him and Malik, I won't be, terribly upset, but he's not going to be playing both sides of the ball like he does in college.
No, if you draft him that high, you're drafting him to be a DB.
Yeah.
And to play some wide receiver every once in a while. But you can't play both sides of the ball in the NFL. There's too many good athletes in the NFL could do. Charles Woodson, great athlete. He didn't play all the time both sides of the ball.
No.
You just can't. So I don't know. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm ready for
Me
football
too.
season to get here. I hope the NFL goes to 18 regular season games. It makes fantasy football more enjoyable. It prolongs us another week of getting to play.
Yeah, but I just don't know the longevity of these poor guys.
Well, they're going to get 2 bye weeks.
Yeah.
You don't think they're compensated enough for this toughness they're going through?
Yeah, I think they can play 18 games.
Yep.
We're just gonna see.
Well, they're playing the same amount of time because they're not playing all the preseason games. And a lot of guys don't play preseason football anyways.
Hey, did you root for Saquon at all, or was your heart too broken?
I mean, I rooted for him in the Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
man, losing him was rough.
That's y'all's own fault.
I know. I don't know. You know, you gave all that money to Daniel Jones and you just let him walk.
My youngest son is a huge Giants fan, and he was so pissed when they signed Daniel Jones that long term. And I told him, I said, hey, he played really good. I'm telling you, it's a big mistake. So all I heard that last year he was there at the Giants, told you so. And now, you know what? Daniel Jones is going to end up being Indy's starting quarterback this year.
Yep.
He's
Watch. He's going to turn into, Joe Montana or something now.
That's the Giants' way.
That's the Giants' way.
See, I grew up when the Giants were a great franchise that won Super Bowls.
Yep.
And back in the good days, the Parcells days, and
Lawrence Taylor, Phil Simms.
Yeah, Pepper Johnson. I mean, they had great Brandon Jacobs. I mean, Amani
Stephen
Toomer.
Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think that Lawrence Taylor would have been better if he'd have taken his job seriously, or do you think that him partying all night and then going to play the game hungover is what made him Lawrence Taylor?
And he played at the right time, in the right era.
I think that it didn't matter. He was just such an animal that once he got on that field, he was ripping your head off no matter what.
But do you think if he would have been sober for these games that he would have been better? Thinking clearly, or do you think it was the fog?
Maybe the drugs helped him. Who knows? He might have been doing drugs before the games.
Oh, he definitely was. He definitely was. I can't remember. I saw, and I might be getting this messed up, but he was talking to somebody from another locker room, and he couldn't believe that they didn't drink beer and do drugs at halftime. He was like, "You mean y'all didn't do that at halftime?"
What was he? 6'4", 240?
Yeah, he's a monster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today's game,
Man. And he was fast too.
Yeah.
He was lightning fast.
He was a 4.5 guy, but Michael Parsons is what Lawrence Taylor was, or Myles Garrett, or one of those type guys. But it was a different era. I don't know. Now, Lawrence Taylor would have had a lot more sacks because they throw the ball a lot more today than they used to.
Yeah.
But they would have chipped him a lot more. He was a freak of nature, and there wasn't a lot of freaks of nature. Now the NFL's full of freaks of nature.
6'3", 237, 4.6 40.
Okay, so he was not even not as
he was
near as
hungover
fast.
for that 40.
Right.
But he was an animal, and he was a hell of a football player. But there was nobody else like him playing at that time, really. Now, how many what's the white kid from the Raiders?
I don't know. I'm looking at
Max Crosby.
He's a monster. I mean, every team's got that guy now. Just
Myles
about.
Garrett, 6'4", 272 with a 4.6 40.
Okay, 272. What's a kid at Dallas? And I'm telling you right now, the Dallas Cowboys are making a huge mistake for giving Michael Parsons $45 million a year for 4 years and guaranteeing all that money.
6'3", 245, 4.340.
There's your difference.
They're tying up too much money on him.
He is not a big time player. He's a stud. But big games, not big time. He's not a big game player. He disappears in big games, and I think sometimes you get caught up in these guys and you spend way too. And the Dallas Cowboys are the perfect franchise for overpaying for people. They're going to have Dak Prescott as a highest paid quarterback. CeeDee Lamb's was the highest paid wide receiver. Now you're going to have Michael Parsons as the highest.
And then you got nothing to show for it.
No.
You can barely win games.
Yep.
The longest conference championship drought in the NFL.
Right now, yep.
29 years.
How old are you?
37.
Do you remember Dallas being relevant?
Yes.
You do?
One of the first Super Bowls I remember watching was San Francisco and the Chargers, and then the next year was the Cowboys and the Steelers at Super Bowl 30.
Yeah.
Yep.
Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith.
Yeah. Who was?
Did we watch that out here? Didn't we?
Was it Hostetler?
Jeff Hostetler was a quarterback.
Jeff Hostetler was a Giants quarterback.
Lad McConkey's dad, Phil McConkey, isn't that Lad McConkey's dad? He played for the Giants. He was a wide receiver, and he was an ex-Army. He played at Army. He was a helicopter pilot in the Army, I think. I think that's Lad McConkey's dad.
Trying to think of who the quarterback was for
Who?
Pittsburgh that year.
Oh, it was Neil O'Donnell, probably.
Yep.
That doesn't ring a bell.
I think Neil O'Donnell played after Terry Bradshaw.
It was Bill Cowher was the coach. No, you're right. Neil O'Donnell. Yeah. Yeah.
What year was that Super Bowl?
96.
96.
January 28th, 1996.
You watched that game here.
Maybe.
Yeah, we did. That's where we watched that game at.
Yeah. But that was it. Like those are the first couple Super Bowls that I remember were those two.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to get to see, the Giants win against New England. I was too young for when they won in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, fucking Eli Manning just breaking hearts out there.
Still think he's the most overrated quarterback of all time.
He was a game winner.
He'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer too.
Got 2 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Do you think he's one of the best quarterbacks? Do you think he deserves of that?
A Hall of Fame? Yes.
Yes. I don't think so.
Yes.
Definitely.
Does Phillip Rivers get in then?
He never won a Super Bowl.
No.
That don't matter. There's a lot of guys that won a Super Bowl. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I don't think the stats are there for Phillip
Yeah.
Rivers like they were.
You got to have the
You look at
stats
him.
if you didn't win the Super Bowls.
I bet Phillip Rivers' stats are close to Eli Manning's.
I'm not saying that they're not.
But
I'm
you
not
said
saying
Eli Manning deserves to get in.
he got 2 Super Bowl wins.
Well,
I think that pushes you over the threshold. If Eli does not have those Super Bowl wins, then I don't
He's
think
not.
that he's a Hall
Yep.
of Fame quarterback.
David, what was
I
that?
agree.
What's the receiver's name? David Tyree that caught the pass
Yes.
on his helmet?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. That was all him, yeah. David Tyree jumped up and put it on his helmet.
So I'm looking up Phillip Rivers stats.
Does Matt Ryan deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
No.
No.
I'm not going to argue that one with you, but be a hard time.
63,000 passing yards for Phillip Rivers. 421 touchdowns.
Okay.
So remember that 63, and I'm going to look up Dan Marino. Plus,
Dan Marino's less than that.
Dan Marino was a guy that changed the way you play. Yeah, 61,000. They got the same.
Yep.
He has 2,000 less, but I think that Dan Marino was such an iconic quarterback at the time.
Different era too.
Right.
Changed the game a lot.
Yeah.
There's,
He was one of the air it out guys.
Yep.
I couldn't imagine Larry Bird today if he played basketball in today's deal, where he just runs and shoots all the time. He might average 40 points a game in today's game. I mean, it's a different era. and things
Larry
are
Bird
different.
didn't play no games. He was throwing elbows. He was a nasty player. He didn't take no shit from nobody.
No.
Biggest shit talker that ever played the game. All the old timers talk about. He was a stud. Him and LeBron James's numbers are almost identical, except LeBron's played longer.
Yeah.
But their averages and everything. He was a hell of a basketball player. He's a top 10 for sure of all time in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't know. I'm ready for the draft, though. I'm usually not too excited about the draft, but I'm ready for
Me
something.
too.
I'm going to have to watch baseball tonight, watch Bryce play, and
Yeah,
see
I
if they
wanna
got
watch
these big
Bryce.
bats. I want to see these torpedo bats.
Yeah, he might have a hard time with them.
That's what I'm saying.
So
man.
Trey Judge, is he going to hit? Is it Trey
Aaron
Judge?
Judge.
Aaron Judge. Is he
Aaron
going
Judge.
Is he going to hit 100 home runs this year?
With
He
this
could.
with this new bat.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody I know that knows him says he is a really nice, down to earth guy.
He seems like it. And when you see him in interviews, he seems like a real nice guy.
Okay, before we get off here, I'm going to ask you: greatest Yankee player of all time?
Oh man.
I'm saying Derek Jeter. Of my lifetime, because you could go back to Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth.
Of my lifetime, my favorite was Don Mattingly, but of my lifetime is Derek Jeter, definitely.
I didn't realize
He's
that
my
the
Mattingly was my favorite. Derek Jeter was probably the best player. I don't really consider Aaron Rodgers. Not Aaron.
Aaron Judge.
No, not Rodriguez. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Alex Rodriguez,
Yeah, he
A-Rod.
played
Yeah.
too many places.
Yep. Yeah. No, Derek Jeter. But they got so many good players.
I didn't realize that the facial hair policy.
They changed it.
Yeah, they changed it. Derek Jeter, you had to no facial hair if you were going to play on the Yankees.
Yep.
But they've had some great players that have come there. A lot of, they bought a lot of players.
Yep. Spend a lot of money, those guys.
I was so I'm coaching kid baseball this year for my oldest, and I told them, like, listen, the best in the world hit the ball 3 times out of 10. And if you hit the ball 4 times out of 10, you're considered one of the greatest. And it's crazy like how distorted legends can be, because my son was like, what about Babe Ruth? You know, he's one of the greatest hitters of all times.
His probably career batting average probably about 320.
342.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
He's like, Babe Ruth never struck out. I'm like,
Yeah, he did a bunch.
struck out all the time.
He probably struck out more than he hit.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
but it's just funny seeing like, because you know Sandlot and everything. So, but like Babe Ruth was big to me, and just from like the Sandlot and everything. But it's just funny the further we get away from baseball's.
Oh, Joe DiMaggio, great Yankee. Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, but I'm still my favorite Yankee of all time, and I don't dislike the Yankees. Not a huge Yankee fan. Would be Derek Jeter, just because he showed up to work every day, gave 100%.
Never heard nothing out of him.
Smart, good ball player. Bang Mariah Carey, good for him.
I got a funny story about Joe DiMaggio, though.
I heard he had a big hog on him.
My grandmother used to work for
God.
MasterCard.
That's a hell of a follow-up after what Andy said.
Go ahead.
My grandmother worked for MasterCard, and he was like a spokesperson for them. I guess he did commercials. And my grandfather was a big Yankee fan, and his best friend, she got him a signed ball of Joe DiMaggio, but he signed, to Bill or whatever the guy's name was, Joe DiMaggio, and she brought it. She thought it was gonna be such a big deal, which it was. But he's like, "Why'd you have him put my name? I would like to, just resell it if I ever had to." So he was like more concerned about just having a Joe DiMaggio ball, not
personalized.
Yep.
That's awesome.
My dad used to hang out with Mickey Mantle a lot, and he was a big partying dude, and he was a wild.
Yeah, he was
son
a
of
party
bitch.
animal.
Big time. Oh yeah, a lot of. Well, Joe DiMaggio, I don't think was a big partier.
He married Monroe, didn't he?
Yeah, never married anybody else. Broke his heart.
Yeah.
She broke a lot of men's hearts.
Yeah, she damn sure. Yeah, he wasn't the only one, but Mickey Mantle was a big partier, and he used to come to Wichita and drink all the time. Big partying guy.
Why? What brought him to Wichita Falls?
I have no idea, but he used to go Dell's Blue Lounge a lot where Dad no more.
Huh.
That's cool.
It doesn't make sense to me either. Maybe he had a girlfriend there. I don't know, but he was in Wichita Falls a lot.
He had one in every town.
Well, he was from Oklahoma. So maybe he liked getting away from the big city. I don't know. Maybe. But he was a hell of a player. His batting average was 300. He had 536 homers.
Ty Cobb has the best batting average ever, 366.
I'm surprised. Tony Gwynn had to be close.
I don't know, but I saw Tony Gwynn only struck out 15 times in one season, and this poor kid from Boston
struck out
is
that many.
15 strikeouts in his first 18 at bats.
Did you see Jason Varitek consoling him the other day?
Be okay, kid.
Did you see Jason Varitek at Disney World? This guy's wearing a Varitek jersey, and he's up there, and this guy goes, "Hey, you're a Red Sox fan?" He goes, "Yeah." He started talking to him. He said, "Yeah, I'm a big Red Sox fan. Who's your favorite player?" Or started talking about stuff. Sit there for a little bit, and the guy said, and he said, "I just want to thank you for wearing my jersey." He goes,
You're
Jason Varitek. He said, "God, I can't believe I didn't recognize you. I'm a huge fan." But Jason Varitek was a stud.
Yeah. I know y'all were on the losing end of it, but I think that the Boston Red Sox in 2003 or 4, whatever year that was, I think that is the best sports story that's ever played out in America.
Yeah, I watched that documentary.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
Yep.
They were good. You can't take nothing away from them. They.
I mean, just being down like you were to your arch rival, and then coming back down 3 to win it, and then going on to win the World Series. You got the curse of the Bambino. I just think that was. I can't think of a better sports story ever. You got the bloody sock, and just everything around that whole year seems pretty special.
Greatest baseball rivalry, maybe the greatest
sports rivalry.
I don't know if it's a great. It's
probably
close.
Sports.
I would say
Ohio State and Michigan football. I'd put number 1. Texas
in the Hall of Fame. In the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, they got a whole section dedicated to the rivalry.
Yeah,
like how Babe Ruth played for Red Sox, and he came to the Yankees, and they got all types of stuff just focused on that rivalry.
I'm not taking nothing away from him. It's by far the best baseball rivalry.
I
just don't know if it's. I think the greatest sports rivalry is Ohio State, Michigan, and I hate Ohio State, man. But I think it's good. But there's a lot of regional really good, like Texas, Oklahoma's a big rivalry. Notre Dame, USC used to be one. I mean, there's a lot of them, but baseball wise, for sure, I can't think of a pro football
I can't either. And I was going to say, like, I think the more that we kind of commercialize everything, I think we're getting away from the rivalries. I can't think of anything in the NFL because everything seems like such a business and everybody's kind of fans. Like Yankees and Red Sox
Giants,
fucking hate
Cowboys
each
used
other.
to be big, but it's not as big anymore.
So was the Redskin Cowboys. And then the last couple of years, it's been the Eagles and the Cowboys. But, you know, Pittsburgh and Baltimore have a hellacious rivalry, but it's not the same Baltimore, the Colts that used to be there. And it's
maybe during the Ray Lewis days, but like I think like Red Sox and Yankees hated each other.
yes.
And I could kind of see that with the Ravens, just what I've seen from Ray Lewis. Like,
He hates
you
Pittsburgh.
just don't talk to those fucking people. Like, when we're on the field, we don't talk to them.
Kansas City and Denver used to have a big rivalry. Oakland and Kansas. I mean, there's a lot of, but baseball, that Boston deal is just amazing. And, you know, nobody gives a shit about the Dodgers. Dodgers and the Giants got a rivalry, but nobody cares. Those are two teams from New York that moved somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm a Red Sox fan more than I'm a Yankee fan. I hate to tell you this. I love Fenway Park, but it's, but I like,
You had him until then.
but I like the Giants, and I've always been a Giants fan.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm a Redskin
All
fan
right,
more
I'll
than
let you.
anybody.
I'll let you slide on that one.
but I'm a Redskin fan, and I think that I'm going to have a lot to cheer for the next couple of years.
Yeah, you got a good team, man. You got a really good team. You got
better
a really
get it.
good quarterback.
We got a break when Chicago took the Caleb, right? Caleb Williams.
And
Yeah.
they're being and
the
they're
guy,
active.
the guy who paints his fingernails. That guy.
No heart.
And the Commanders have been active in free agency.
Oh,
So
they're
like,
not called the Commanders. They're the Redskins in this room.
Redskins.
Hail to the chief, baby.
either way, they know that they've got a window and they better capitalize right now.
Yep.
So I
yep.
think they've done a good job in free agency, and I think the Star. I think you got a lot to be excited
We
about.
should
the next
have a
couple of years.
good next 5 years.
Yeah.
Now, we'll see what happens. I'm still not picking to go to the Super Bowl yet.
You could. I'm not even gonna put it in the universe. I was gonna compare.
Yeah, right.
I was gonna bring up
You gotta watch what
RG3.
you say.
Gonna bring up RG3, but I'm not gonna put it in the universe. So I
Don't do it.
hope that you have a lot to root for.
Jaden Daniels throws the ball a lot more. That's why I like him.
Yeah.
But
He's a good man. He's so good.
they have done a good job in free agency. They surround him with a lot of stuff. We'll see what happens. But the Super Bowl is going to go through Philadelphia again. The tush push deal is the stupidest shit in the world to be trying to take away. It's a football play. If you can't stop it, learn how to do it yourself. It was only ran 65 times last year.
Just let them do it. You know, what are they're taking it away now, right?
They're trying.
They don't want you doing it.
They tabled it. They didn't make a decision. But here's what's funny: if you don't want to do tush push, keep them to 3rd or 4th and 3, and they're not going to be doing the tush push. You know, they only run it when they're a yard below. But every team can do it.
I just hate how they always are trying to change things. Like, why? What's the point of changing that? I don't understand. So people don't get hurt, or I don't
it's
even
not even a
understand why
hurt deal. They can't stop it, so they think it's no good for football. Well, everybody outside of Philadelphia hates it. The people fit it, but it's a football deal. Every team can do it. Every single team. Can you imagine? I thought about this today. Earl Campbell, who's one of the greatest running backs ever, I think. Which I compare Earl Campbell and Derrick Henry. They're the same kind of guy. Fast, big guy.
Big and fast.
I think Derrick Henry's playing football at the perfect time because they don't load the box like they did on Earl Campbell. I would love to have seen somebody like Earl Campbell get a play where they have an open field more.
Yeah.
Because good running backs are hard to find these days.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see them make them rejuvenated. Maybe people will start running the ball a little bit more. Well, hey, man, Tim, we appreciate you being on here, man. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me on.
It's a different world for sure. Go have a good deli sandwich and think about us. We'll be eating nothing here.
I will. If you ever find your way up to Long Island, you know, come check me out.
I'm in the East Coast every year. If I'm coming that way, I'll holler at you if I get up that way anytime. I'm sure in the next 6 months I'll be up there.
I'm gonna try to get in with you guys on that fantasy. You guys doing the league again?
Oh yeah.
Yes. We will be doing that. We may have 2 leagues this year, but we will damn sure have a Big Honker podcast league and probably 2 of them even.
All right, cool. I'm going to try to get in on that.
I appreciate
Perfect.
it, man. You have a good day. God bless you and be safe, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
See
you,
you, buddy. Bye.
Bye.
Very interesting guy. Whole different world that we live in. It's what makes America so great.
Yeah, it is. That hunting up there is still something that I have a hard time wrapping my head around. Couldn't imagine shooting a bunch of ducks with the New York skyline in the background.
That would be awesome.
It'd be pretty cool.
That's like the people that hunt in the mountains always think, man, what a pretty
Right.
place.
Yeah. Yeah. Different than here.
Yep. Kind of like it was when we hunted in St. Lawrence River.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep.
All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless you and have a great day.
Watch for deer.
Gotta pee.
Go pee. Before you leave, go check out all of our great sponsors. Go check out Pacific Calls. Use our promo code BHP25. They got turkey calls, duck calls, goose calls, whatever you need. Save 25% with our promo code. Check out Boss Shot Shells, Dive Bomb Industry, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Mossberg, MLR Graphics, Mallard Bay, and Mitch Hall's Chevrolet.